A research team is extracting samples beneath Antarctic ice. Suddenly cracks appear on the ice surface and rapidly expand. One team member hasn't had time to react when the ground beneath his feet instantly collapses. At the critical moment, his colleague Hank desperately pulls him to safety. But the equipment containing research samples is also in danger. Hank doesn't hesitate to leap across the crack and retrieve the equipment. Only then do they realize the ice shelf beneath their feet has completely broken off and they're floating on the ocean. Soon after, Hank gives a speech at a global climate conference. Using his personal experience as evidence, he points out that rising temperatures will disrupt polar ocean currents, which could ultimately lead the world into a new ice age. These remarks are laughed off by a certain country's president. He claims economic development is far more important than these pie-in-the-sky environmental issues. However, a renowned climate professor strongly supports Hank's viewpoint. What seemed like a distant climate disaster suddenly erupts without warning. The meteorology professor at the monitoring center notices an ocean buoy's temperature reading suddenly plunges 13 degrees. Before he can analyze it, hundreds and thousands of buoys sound the same alarm. This isn't a malfunction but the beginning of a massive change. The professor immediately sends the data to Hank, because only his climate model can explain all this. At this moment, disaster is already unfolding globally. Rare giant hailstones fall from the sky, turning bustling streets into disaster zones instantly. 3 tornadoes appear simultaneously for the first time ever, and gradually merge and mutate into one destructive super tornado. City landmarks are no match for it, and on-scene reporters are even swept away. Based on his model, Hank reaches the final conclusion. The northern hemisphere will be covered in ice and snow in 6 weeks. He requests emergency evacuation from the president, but the president thinks he's making a mountain out of a molehill. With no other choice, Hank can only contact his son Sam, first telling him to take cover as soon as possible.